My name is Jason McBride, founder of the McBride Impact and secondary violence prevention specialist for the Struggle of Love Foundation, and I'm mending roots to cultivate communities. The very first gang-related shooting was Cameron Smith in 1986, right in Park Hill. Matter of fact, a block away from the Park Hill golf course. The very first one in 1986, all that time ago. And we haven't addressed the problem because it's still happening. Look at last year. You know, the month of July, we lost 16 people in the first 2 weeks, which is that's astounding to me when you start to talk about those kind of things. And these are all youth. These are all young people that died. The first week we lost 9 people in 6 days. The second week we lost 8 people in 7 days. I don't know what to say because we've had opportunities in decades to solve this problem and we decide that we don't. There's always something more important. But what could be more important than, saving kids? McBride Impact, we're set up under the 4 E's. We call them the 4 E's, which are equity, equality, employment, and education. So we try to tackle those things and help young people in our community, Black and brown people in our community with those things, with job trainings, employment. The causes from youth violence, they range from bad schools, lack of parenting and supervision, just nothing for these kids to really get into. We look at these kids and say, well, how can these young people be so violent? Well, they live in violent places and they experience violent things. And if you go through those things on a regular basis, that violence is gonna be inherited into you and then you're gonna perpetrate some violent things also. And, young people in our community are actually our only natural resource because we don't own any gas or any diamond mines or any of those things, right? We just have young people that we hope will go on to school and bring some of those things they learn back into our communities and help us. National Youth Violence Prevention Week is a week where we're all focused on eliminating youth violence or reducing it, or trying to figure out the factors that lead to it. And I think that's one thing we don't really do a lot of. We just see the problem and attack what we think is the cause of the problem, and that's usually a person. But there are other things that lead these young people to do some of the things that they do, and we need to start to examine those things. These kids don't realize how great they can be because they're not being shown that. They only are being shown one thing, and that's how to purchase an AK-47 on the street and use it on somebody you don't like or somebody you think you don't like because they don't wear the same color you do or identify with what you identify with. So that's my job, and I wish that some people could just see that what I do. Just that part of it. And I think it would change a lot of people's opinions on what we're dealing with right now.
I think that's it.
Thank you. I don't know if I could take no more. That's just the truth. The Mending Roots Forest Project is something that I thought about, last year when I talked to some of the people who had taken over the golf course, and they were definitely on board with doing this. This is something that I think can provide some healing to some of these families that have gone through this. I think is definitely a way for people in the community to kind of heal with some of the trauma that they've gone through. A lot of these kids come from these communities, have grown up in these communities. These people in these communities know these young people, and we're not talking about 20-year-olds. I mean, we're talking about 12, 13, 14-year-old kids that are really the brunt of, taking the brunt of gang violence in this city. So these are the ones that are dying. And this project being a representation of all of those kids, it just gives families a place where they can go and connect and mourn. And this is just going to be a beautiful place that is set up in honor of a lot of these kids that we haven't protected or done the things that we needed to do for them, and they're no longer with us. And I think this is a way for us to, pay homage to them, give them, their families, a little bit of, just a little bit of love. Like, honestly, I mean, these people need love. They've lost a lot. And so this is a way for us as community members to say, hey, we love you, you're important, your young person was important, and they won't be forgotten. So we definitely are encouraging people to get involved and donate and help us with the planting of these 200 trees that are going to represent young people in this community that have fell victim to youth violence.